Hello and welcome. My name is Tim and I'm here with my colleagues from Imperfect Pixel, Chris, Nadia and Mike. We're going to be showing you a video that will hopefully give you a better understanding of two types of servers that are quite commonly used in the gaming industry, dedicated and listening. We will start off by giving you a brief rundown of them and then slide on over to the pros and cons.
Game servers can be classified into listen servers and dedicated servers. Listen servers are run on the same machine as the game client. When the client disconnects, the server is shut down, as the server and host client are run together. Listen servers usually cannot support many players. This is due to bandwidth and CPU requirements. The software running the listen server typically limits the number of players for this very reason. An example of this would be RTS game that is 1v1, RTS standing for real-time strategy. Dedicated servers, on the other hand, are set up on a separate machine, often hosted in a data center. Thus, they have a high bandwidth and do not have to share CPU with the client's game. In general, dedicated servers are more preferable for large game servers and or 24/7 uptime. Dedicated servers are used by game server providers to host individual game servers or MMO games. In general, massively multiplayer online games are all run on dedicated servers, usually hosted by the software company that developed and owns the game title, as this allows them to control and update content. Examples of some MMO games that use dedicated servers are Neverwinter, Rift, Ace Online, and Eden Eternal. In many cases, they are run on clustered servers to allow huge environments and large player counts. Listen servers, on the other hand, are mostly used by individual players in a LAN party setting.
Dedicated server advantages. There is no player host, meaning that there is no person running the server from their home device. The player will not have to switch hosts if a player leaves. This is because the machine is running solely for the server, not off of someone's home computer. Generally, the ping is lower and the response time is faster because the server is not running off of somebody's home internet, and the upload and download times are going to be a lot quicker. Dedicated servers are also very reliable and a lot more secure than a listen server. This is because, again, it's not being run by any individual person, it's being run by a machine that is solely committed to running your server. The host of a dedicated server has more control over the server and it can be flexible to change. This means that if the host wants to do a hardware upgrade, a software update, any kind of little tweak, he wants to change something here or there, he is able to, whereas in a listen server you can't because all the players are online. The server is not being run on a separate machine, which means it doesn't have the software in order to allow it to be upgraded like a dedicated server does. The overall performance is a lot better, as I stated before. There is an upgrade path. Like I said before, there is hardware and software updates that can go on while the server is still online. The server has its own IP address, so that you're not sharing an IP address with any other kind of device, and everyone can access it a lot quicker, and it can be available 24/7.
Cons of using a dedicated server. For starters, they're extremely expensive because they have to be hosted outside of your own house, usually by another company who you pay to take care of it, and it usually does not allow IRC, which is Internet Relay Chat.
Listen servers are ideal for LAN party settings. This is because a listen server is easy to set up and it offers an option to people who don't have access or in range of a dedicated server. This is because if the dedicated server is hosted far away, thousands of kilometers away, and the people who are trying to access it have a larger ping, it would be more convenient for them to have a listen server where they have lower ping. However, they have a little bit of bug issues than have a huge ping and have the server be far away. Listen servers can also be faster than a dedicated server. This is because there is less traffic. Of course, this all depends on upload and download speed of the user or the host. Software needed for this kind of server, it takes less resources for a listen server to run, both hardware and software wise, and it's very good for testing. So if you're writing a program or trying to test out something that you've done, and you don't want to connect to a dedicated server, a listen server is an easy alternative to allow you to test different networks and different online components of whatever you're doing.
The cons of using a listen server are that projects have a really slow output image. and you have to communicate to other users over the hosting user's internet connection, which tends to make it very slow. Even these connections do not typically support the requirements to have chat available, and the stream ends as soon as the host user logs off. There's a lot of lag, and sometimes the host ends up having the best service. You get a host with the most situation.
So there you have it. Now you should have a basic idea on how both servers work and know their pros and cons. If you still do not understand, you can either watch the video again or look on the internet. This has been the Imperfect Pixel team, and we thank you for watching.